Get your daily news fix. From Newsworthy's latest edition. March 30. Get your daily news fix. From Newsworthy's latest edition. March 31, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Top songs on YouTube music charts, global edition from March 21 to March 27, 2025. 1. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. 2. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars. 3. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and J.R. Torres. 4. Like Jenny by Jenny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global, spanning from Friday, March 21 to Thursday, March 27, 2025, features the following tracks. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga, APT by Rose and Bruno Mars, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, and Anxiety by Doeki I. Top-selling digital games on Nintendo US as of March 31, 2025. Minecraft, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, and Stardew Valley. Steam's most popular games. Featuring the leading titles and sales and player engagement on the platform. Based on the revenue rankings of the top 100 products, for the period from Tuesday, March 18, 2025, to Tuesday, March 25, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, Assassin's Creed Shadows, REPO, Split Fiction, Monster Hunter Wilds. CISA's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. CISA has issued a detailed report on the resurge malware, which is linked to the Ivanti Connect secure system. One more drop in the ocean of AI. ByteDance introduces Mega TTS 3, a remarkable addition. This text-to-speech (TTS) system is characterized by its lightweight and efficient design, with the core TTS diffusion transformer containing a mere 0.45 billion parameters. It excels in producing ultra-high-quality voice clones, as demonstrated in the video provided below. Additionally, the performance of recent TTS models on the seed test sets is detailed in the accompanying table. Mega TTS 3 offers bilingual capabilities, accommodating both Chinese and English, and includes the ability to switch between languages. It also provides control over accent intensity and, in the near future, will allow for precise adjustments to pronunciation and duration. The University of Michigan has shut down its Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion (DEI) office, terminating a significant financial investment in diversity initiatives. This decision comes amid reports that billions of dollars in federal funding could be jeopardized as President Trump calls for U.S. universities to adhere to his directives. Additionally, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, chair has initiated an investigation into the Walt Disney Company regarding its DEI programs. Furthermore, the U.S. government has mandated that French companies comply with Trump's diversity restrictions. Crisis presents an opportunity. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni aims to establish Italy as a key link between the United States and Europe, dismissing the notion of having to choose between Donald Trump and European interests. Meanwhile, France sees the European military's actions in Ukraine as a testing ground for a NATO that might emerge after Trump's era. Additionally, Finland's President Sauli Niinistö engaged in a golf game with Trump, during which they talked about the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Axios reports that the Trump team is reassuring the public by emphasizing that tax cuts will soon arrive, so there's no need to worry about rising prices. Trump himself has expressed indifference to potential increases in auto prices due to tariffs and is reportedly urging his aides to implement even more significant tariffs as an important deadline approaches. Meanwhile, a CBS News poll indicates that Americans are more concerned about Trump focusing on prices rather than tariffs, although a majority do support his deportation efforts. Additionally, Brazil's President Lula has stated that he intends to engage in negotiations regarding tariffs before considering any retaliatory actions. SpaceX astronauts are set to attempt cultivating the inaugural mushrooms in space during the forthcoming Fram-2 mission, which will orbit over Earth's poles. Meanwhile, an explorer from Vancouver is reaching out to Trump for approval to extract metals from the Pacific Ocean floor. Additionally, a report indicates that U.S. scientists have experienced a loss of $3 billion in NIH grants since Trump assumed office. A Chinese scientist who faced exclusion due to his involvement in gene-edited babies is now aiming to make a return. Recent research indicates that the majority of early Europeans possessed dark skin, eyes, and hair until approximately 3,000 years ago. An ancient parasite employed a mechanism similar to that of a Venus flytrap to deposit eggs in its hosts. J.D. Vance acknowledges that he initially didn't fully understand Trump's motivation for wanting Greenland. However, Vance argues that the United States needs to have control over Greenland to counter the threats posed by China and Russia. He suggests that Greenland should consider making an agreement with the U.S. Meanwhile, Putin dismisses Trump's interest in acquiring Greenland, stating it has no relevance to Russia. Vance also criticizes Denmark for not investing enough in Greenland, as Trump continues to advocate for the U.S. to take over the island. In response to Trump's pressure, Greenland's political parties have formed a wide-ranging coalition government. Trump confidently asserts to NBC News that the U.S. will definitely acquire Greenland, saying, "We'll get Greenland. Yeah, 100%. Chinese authorities have temporarily suspended the sale of Panama Canal ports. Pentagon official Hegseth has announced that the U.S. military presence in Japan, described as warrior, is being enhanced to serve as a deterrent against China, emphasizing Japan's crucial role in this strategy. Meanwhile, Greenland's prime minister has stated that the U.S. will not acquire the island. Axios has announced that the White House will now manage the seating arrangement in the briefing room. Additionally, White House correspondents have dismissed a comedian for making offensive remarks about MAGA on the Beast podcast. Meanwhile, Mike Huckabee, whom Trump has chosen as the ambassador to Israel, is attempting to separate himself from his previous statements regarding Palestinians. The Hill has criticized Huckabee, suggesting that his extreme views could lead to chaos in the Middle East. A supercomputer has revealed the chaotic nature of hypersonic flows at Mach 16. In Beijing, a new X-ray light source has been constructed, boasting a brightness 1 trillion times greater than the sun. Additionally, a method has been developed to generate power by harnessing Earth's movement through its own magnetic field. Turkey has detained a Swedish journalist on charges of insulting the president and terrorism. In the United States, private organizations are actively identifying and reporting student protesters, potentially leading to their deportation. Additionally, it has been reported that hundreds of international students received an email instructing them to self-deport due to their involvement in campus activism. In a confidential meeting, Vance and his leading advisors proposed that Trump remove Waltz, but Trump is reportedly reluctant to dismiss Waltz or others implicated in the Signal chat leak, according to officials. Meanwhile, Trump has mentioned he is contemplating options for a third presidential term, although he stated he doesn't wish to discuss it at present, despite numerous people urging him to run. Additionally, Axios has reported that Trump plans to visit Saudi Arabia in May, marking his first international trip, as indicated by sources. Novo Nordisk's diabetes medication has been shown to reduce the risk of cardiovascular issues by 14% over a 4-year period. Additionally, the newest Alzheimer's treatments have the potential to extend patients' years of independence. Furthermore, a study indicates that lifestyle choices have a greater influence on lifespan than genetic factors. The Academy has issued an apology for not providing sufficient support to the Oscar-winning Palestinian director. Meanwhile, Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu plans to visit Hungary, despite an arrest warrant issued by the International Criminal Court. Additionally, Iran has declined to engage in direct nuclear negotiations with former President Trump but remains open to indirect discussions, following Trump's previous warning to Iran that there will be bombing if Tehran rejects U.S. nuclear talks. The UK regulatory body plans to begin granting licenses to cryptocurrency companies by the year 2026. Meanwhile, in the United States, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has concluded its investigation into Crypto.com without taking any further action. Additionally, a report suggests that Japan is considering reclassifying cryptocurrency as a financial product in an effort to reduce insider trading. A record-breaking number of 736,000 sandhill cranes have gathered in Nebraska during the peak of spring migration, and there are no indications of bird flu, despite previous worries. In China, researchers are employing laser drones to accurately count the nation's vast population of trees, totaling 142.6 billion. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, rice farmers are demonstrating against what they perceive as misguided regulations that are contributing to rice shortages. Samsung Electronics has introduced its AI home concept, featuring enhanced artificial intelligence and improved screens in a variety of new product lines. Meanwhile, Google has ceased manufacturing the Nest Protect and the Nest X Shale lock. Additionally, China's supersonic jet, the C-949, aims to achieve a 50% increase in range compared to the Concorde and produce 95% less noise. Split Fiction secures its spot in gaming history by achieving 3 world records. Korea's Krafton is challenging the 25-year dominance of The Sims. Nintendo is reportedly planning a Zelda movie trilogy, with filming planned for New Zealand. A significant breach in Oracle Cloud has led to the exposure of over 6 million records, potentially endangering more than 140,000 tenants. Additionally, 1.5 million private photographs from LGBTQ+, BDSM, and sugar dating applications have been compromised. The HTTPS certificate industry has implemented new security measures, including multi-perspective issuance corroboration and linting. RFK Jr. has compelled Peter Marks, a leading vaccine official, to resign. In his resignation letter, Marks refutes Kennedy's falsehoods. Additionally, RFK Jr. is anticipated to dismiss the entire staff of the Office of Infectious Disease and HIV/AIDS Policy. Meanwhile, there are reports that DOJ is advocating for businesses to manage government services to the greatest extent feasible. STAT has expressed that, noting that the removal of FDA's Peter Marks has alarmed the biopharma industry, which regarded him as a supporter. Michael Mann has submitted his script for Heat 2 to Warner Bros. The Lumen Terminal Pro computer has been featured on Apple's website. Venice has announced it will be the venue for Bezos' wedding and has refuted claims of potential disruptions to the city. The Frick Collection in New York City is set to reopen following a significant renovation costing $330 million. A collection of previously unseen paintings by the renowned kitsch artist Thomas Kincaid has been revealed. The upcoming film Ne 2 is expected to boost global box office projections for 2025 to a total of $34 billion. China's 4 leading state-owned banks are planning to generate $72 billion through stock sales to enhance their capital reserves. Additionally, Google has reached a settlement of $100 million in a lawsuit concerning advertisers who were overcharged. Meanwhile, the first orbital rocket launched from mainland Europe experienced a crash shortly after it took off. Xpeng predicts that the robotics industry will surpass the automotive sector in size within the next few years. Xpeng is making a significant investment of $413 million in a new factory located in Guangzhou, focusing on the development of flying cars. Meanwhile, SoftBank Group is considering a massive $1 trillion initiative in the United States to establish industrial parks dedicated to AI robots. Additionally, DeepSeek has increased the confidence of wealthy Chinese investors in technology stocks, according to a banker from Standard Chartered. A letter from the industry warns that more than $13 billion in investments in solar and wind energy projects in Vietnam could be jeopardized. Meanwhile, Japan is planning to allocate an unprecedented $133 billion to enhance its resilience against earthquakes. Additionally, as the global climate warms, changes in cloud patterns are contributing to increased uncertainty about climate conditions. Authorities in London have detained individuals responsible for organizing a protest related to Gaza at the Quaker House. Meanwhile, Haaretz has published an article discussing the situation in Gaza, where it claims that nearly every unit of the Israel Defense Forces, IDF, employs Palestinian individuals as human shields, likening them to a sub-army of forced laborers. Additionally, reports have emerged of the discovery of the bodies of aid workers who were previously missing, found in a mass grave in Gaza following Israeli military operations. The Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, FDIC, has withdrawn its previous guidance regarding banks and cryptocurrency, indicating that banks are now permitted to participate in cryptocurrency activities without needing prior approval. Additionally, FTX is set to commence $11.4 billion in creditor payouts in May, following a prolonged bankruptcy process. Furthermore, former President Donald Trump has granted pardons to 3 co-founders of the BitMEX cryptocurrency exchange and a former employee. A groundbreaking study has successfully blocked cancer's master switch permanently. In another significant development, artificial intelligence has demonstrated the ability to match pathologists in the diagnosis of celiac disease. Additionally, a recent study has revealed that PFAS chemicals are present in the drinking water of nearly half of the American population. The leaders of Harvard's Middle Eastern Studies Center are set to depart. According to an AP report, Israeli settlers were captured on video attacking a Palestinian village, yet only Palestinians were apprehended by the police. Additionally, CARE has criticized Secretary Hegseth's Kafir tattoo, labeling it as indicative of both anti-Muslim hostility and personal insecurity. AI specialists argue that our current approach is misguided in the quest to develop artificial intelligence that closely resembles human capabilities. Meanwhile, Wired reports that OpenAI's Sora is facing significant issues with biases, including sexism, racism, and ableism. Additionally, Apple is preparing to introduce a virtual healthcare assistant through Project Mulberry as it accelerates its efforts to enhance AI-driven health services. During the Trump administration, businesses are altering the branding of their diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives rather than abandoning them. In the United States, the Naval Academy is making moves to eliminate diversity policies related to books and admissions. Meanwhile, Columbia University's president has been replaced amid threats from Trump concerning the university's funding. TSMC, Intel, and other leading chip manufacturers are reducing the pace of their expansion efforts in Japan and Malaysia. Meanwhile, the New York Times highlights that India is experiencing a significant hiring surge, which remains unaffected by Trump's tariffs. Additionally, the Wall Street Journal covers a conflict between Apple and Elon Musk regarding their satellite expansion strategies. Private equity firm Clearlake is set to acquire Dun & Bradstreet, a company specializing in business decisioning data and analytics, for a total of $4.1 billion in cash. Additionally, Reuters has reported that Blackstone is considering taking a small ownership stake in a US-based spin-off of TikTok, according to sources. Furthermore, Elon Musk has announced that he has sold X to his AI company, valuing the transaction at $33 billion. Financial Times notes that brands are spending minimal amounts on X advertisements to maintain Elon Musk's satisfaction. The Wall Street Journal reports that attempts to eliminate fake users for online advertisers have been unsuccessful, and DoubleVerify has responded to the Wall Street Journal's fact-checking and analytics report, acknowledging that both Analytics and the Wall Street Journal recognize that the report's premise and conclusions lack factual support. Additionally, YouTube has disabled ad revenue for channels featuring fake movie trailers following an investigation by Deadline. In the United States, companies like Uber and DoorDash are advocating for a policy that would exempt tips from taxation, specifically benefiting their drivers. Meanwhile, in Bangladesh, individuals known as remittance warriors have successfully sent a record amount of $3 billion back to their country. Additionally, a poll conducted in the United Kingdom reveals that young people are more concerned about work and financial issues than they are about cultural conflicts or climate change. In the United States, far-right influencers are organizing a matchmaking event with a participation fee of $10,000 per person, aiming to increase the global population. Additionally, former President Trump has withdrawn research funding intended to safeguard pregnant women from domestic violence, citing concerns related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI. Furthermore, a report indicates that Mike Waltz utilized the Signal messaging app for more confidential national security discussions. It is also reported that passwords and other sensitive information from high-ranking Trump officials have been discovered circulating online after a Signal leak. Trump is taking steps to remove unionization rights for the majority of federal employees. Meanwhile, in the United States, states are quickly employing federal workers who have been laid off due to DOGE-related budget cuts. Additionally, Elon Musk has stated that Trump will target individuals who are spreading falsehoods about Tesla. Frances Marine Le Pen has been found guilty in a European Union embezzlement case, which could jeopardize her chances in the 2027 presidential election. Additionally, she has been disqualified from holding office for a period of 5 years due to her conviction for corruption. In another development, law enforcement in Portugal successfully stopped a submarine that was attempting to cross the Atlantic Ocean with a significant amount of cocaine, weighing 6.5 tons. Meanwhile, an Indian court has declared Google's billing policy to be anti-competitive. Russia and the United States are in discussions regarding projects related to rare earth metals, according to an envoy from Putin. Meanwhile, Donald Trump, expressing frustration with Vladimir Putin, has threatened to impose tariffs on Russian oil if Moscow obstructs a deal concerning Ukraine. Additionally, Trump mentioned that he had a highly productive conversation with Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, during which they reached agreements on numerous issues. Pakistan intends to deport 3 million Afghan individuals this year. In the United States, numerous individuals who have been granted parole have received an email from the government advising them to leave the country immediately. A study involving Lyft drivers has uncovered instances of racial profiling by law enforcement officers. A tsunami alert has been declared following a 7.1 magnitude earthquake that struck close to Tonga. In Myanmar, a strong earthquake caused damage to over 60 historic pagodas and structures, among them the Maha Mayat Muni Pagoda. Meanwhile, in the United States, severe storms have resulted in tornadoes and hail the size of golf balls, extending from the Great Lakes region to Texas. The New York Times highlights the increasing violence and viral spread of activities by online individuals who claim to hunt pedophiles. Additionally, the White House is experiencing criticism for using an image inspired by Studio Ghibli to depict a person convicted of dealing fentanyl. Furthermore, a reward in the form of a meme coin is being offered for information leading to the location of Joe Lowe, the mastermind behind the 1MDB scandal.
Get your daily news fix. Get your daily news fix. From newsworthy's latest edition. March 28, 2025, featuring crypto, politics, tech, and more. Top songs on YouTube music charts, global edition from March 14 to March 20, 2025. 1. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars 2. APT by Rose and Bruno Mars 3. El Mayor de los Ranas by Victor Valverde and Jair Torres 4. Like Jenny by Jenny. Spotify Weekly Top Songs Global. For the period from Friday, March 14 to Thursday, March 20, 2025, includes the following tracks. Die with a Smile by Lady Gaga, Evil J0RDAN by Playboi Carti, Anxiety by Doekiai, and APT by Rose featuring Bruno Mars. Top-selling digital games on Nintendo US as of March 24, 2025. Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, Overcooked. 2. Hogwarts Legacy, and Minecraft. Discover the most popular games on Steam. This list highlights the leading titles in terms of sales and player engagement worldwide. Based on the top 100 revenue-generating products. Here are the standout games from Tuesday, March 11, 2025, to Tuesday, March 18, 2025. Counter-Strike 2, REPO, Split Fiction, and Monster Hunter Wilds. CIS's cybersecurity alerts and advisories. A widely used third-party GitHub action, known as TJ Actions/changed files, has been compromised. This incident is identified under the Common Vulnerabilities and Exposures (CVE) system as CVE 2025-30066. One more drop in the ocean of AI. NVIDIA's GR00TN1-2B, NVIDIA Isaac GR00TN1 stands as the pioneering open foundation model designed for generalized reasoning and skills in humanoid robots. This innovative model is capable of processing a variety of inputs, such as language and images, to execute manipulation tasks across a wide range of environments. The training of GR00TN1 involves a comprehensive humanoid dataset, which includes real-world captured data, synthetic data created using elements from the NVIDIA Isaac GR00T blueprint, like neural-generated trajectories, and vast amounts of internet-scale video data. Additionally, GR00TN1 can be further customized post-training to suit specific embodiments, tasks, and environments. In the City of London, Transport for London, TfL, has implemented a prohibition on the majority of electric bikes being brought onto trains due to worries about the potential for batteries to catch fire. Meanwhile, Tesla has made the decision to remove the term full self-driving, FSD, from the name of its driver assistance technology in the Chinese market. Additionally, former U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a warning to American automobile manufacturers, advising them against increasing their prices as a reaction to the imposition of tariffs. The Wall Street Journal has weighed in on this matter, suggesting that the implementation of tariffs is unlikely to lead to a significant surge in manufacturing activities within the United States. A recent study has revealed that the dust found on Mars could potentially present health risks to humans who are planning to explore the red planet. In other news, NASA's Webb Space Telescope has successfully captured images of Neptune's auroras for the very first time. Additionally, a significant honor has been bestowed upon a Japanese mathematician who has been awarded the Abel Prize for his groundbreaking work in symmetry theory, which has provided a versatile mathematical framework for understanding the natural world. Research indicates that individuals diagnosed with colon cancer face an increased likelihood of dying from heart-related causes. The FDA has granted approval for the first new category of oral antibiotics designed to treat uncomplicated urinary tract infections in almost 3 decades. Studies show that infants are capable of forming temporary memories. China is setting its sights on having the Xinghuo, the globe's inaugural fusion fission power plant, operational by the year 2030. Additionally, a groundbreaking development in nuclear technology has introduced a new radiocarbon-powered battery capable of functioning for thousands of years without the need for recharging. Furthermore, a significant achievement in quantum computing has been reached with the creation of a 56-qubit computer that can generate truly random numbers. A tourist submarine has tragically sunk off the coast of Egypt, resulting in the deaths of 6 individuals and leaving 9 others injured, according to official reports. In Bolivia, a state of emergency has been declared following devastating floods that have claimed the lives of more than 50 people. Meanwhile, Myanmar has been hit by a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake, with the impact of the tremors being felt in neighboring Thailand. Trump has decided to reinstate a program that monitors large-scale child abductions in Ukraine. Meanwhile, North Korea has reportedly dispatched additional thousands of troops and weapons to Russia, according to Seoul. Bloomberg provides commentary as the United States aims to manage investments in Ukraine, potentially sidelining European involvement. This comes as Putin suggests placing Ukraine under temporary United Nations control to facilitate elections, while Trump expresses interest in obtaining more of Kiev's rare minerals. However, the United States has declined Putin's proposal to remove Zelensky from power. The European Union is considering capping fines on Apple and Meta to prevent potential backlash from Donald Trump. Additionally, the EU has urged Meta to separate its marketplace to address antitrust concerns. Meanwhile, Italy is seeking payment from Meta, X, and LinkedIn in a significant tax case. In other news, TikTok Shop is expanding its presence in Europe, though its future in the US remains uncertain. Pew Research has reported that fewer Americans now support banning TikTok, with fewer viewing it as a national security threat compared to spring 2023. The authoritarian leader of Belarus has been sworn in for his 7th term, warning his critics that they have no future. Meanwhile, the chief of the Sudan Army, al-Burhan, declared Khartoum is free following the capture of the airport. Additionally, Donald Trump has been discussing the establishment of a compensation fund for those involved in the January 6 riots. Trump imposes a 25% tariff on imported automobiles, anticipating a $100 billion increase in tax revenues. Japan requests an exemption from these U.S. auto tariffs. Meanwhile, Ursula von der Leyen assures that the EU will safeguard its interests following Trump's announcement of significant car tariffs. Additionally, Trump suggests a potential tariff reduction if China consents to a TikTok agreement. Flight reservations between Canada and the U.S. have plummeted by 70% amid the ongoing Trump tariff conflict. Furthermore, Reuters indicates that the U.S. has temporarily halted its financial contributions to the WTO, according to trade sources. Japan has established a Joint Operations Command to integrate its 3 self-defense force branches, marking a shift towards a more offensive military strategy, as reported by China's PLA Daily. Meanwhile, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is promoting the development of AI-driven suicide drones and early warning aircraft. In the United States, the Space Force is in the process of creating an aircraft carrier designed for space operations. European military forces are developing a strategy spanning 5 to 10 years to potentially replace the United States within NATO. Meanwhile, NATO's Secretary-General, Jens Stoltenberg, emphasizes to both the US and Europe that this is not the time to go it alone. In Brussels, the European Union is urging its citizens to prepare a 72-hour emergency kit to be ready for potential crises. Additionally, Russia's foreign minister has stated that discussions with the United States are underway regarding the possibility of restarting the Nord Stream pipeline, with the aim of exerting influence over Europe. OpenAI has introduced a new image generator for ChatGPT, which has sparked a celebration of Studio Ghibli's work. Meanwhile, Marvel has announced an expansive cast for the upcoming film Avengers: Doomsday. Additionally, Amazon has secured a deal for LeBron James' podcast titled Mind the Game. OpenAI anticipates that its revenue will increase threefold, reaching $12.7 billion this year, according to a source. Microsoft has decided to halt its data center projects, as reported by TD Cowen. Bill Gates predicts that within the next decade, artificial intelligence will take over the roles of many doctors and teachers, suggesting that human involvement will not be necessary for most tasks. Steel and aluminum manufacturing facilities in Canada are forced to terminate employees because of tariffs imposed by the United States. Meanwhile, major companies in the global metal industry are contemplating the use of Dar es Salaam port as a strategic location for their expansion efforts in Africa. Additionally, a significant number of jobs at British Steel are in jeopardy as the company evaluates the possibility of shutting down its blast furnaces by the month of June. In Israel, cyber officials have reported that attacks from Iran and Hezbollah have increased threefold since October 7. Meanwhile, Oracle has refuted claims of a breach after a hacker asserted the theft of 6 million data records. However, Oracle customers have confirmed that the data allegedly stolen in the cloud breach is indeed authentic. Additionally, Russia has documented cyber attacks targeting banking applications, mobile operators, and Lukoil. In a groundbreaking medical procedure, surgeons have successfully implanted a liver from a genetically modified pig into a patient in China. Meanwhile, scientists have achieved a significant milestone in the fight against malaria by discovering a drug that renders human blood lethal to mosquitoes. Additionally, the bankruptcy of 23andMe has led to the potential auctioning of DNA information from 15 million users. Declassified documents have reportedly revealed that the CIA confirmed the existence of the Ark of the Covenant through remote viewing. Meanwhile, in Turkey, a protester dressed as Pikachu participated in large-scale demonstrations against the arrest of Erdogan's leading opponent. Additionally, in the UK, a ban on ninja swords is set to take effect by summer, with owners being offered compensation. Declassified documents from 1994 reveal that global leaders were skeptical about North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-il, and referred to him as Goofy. Additionally, a court in Bosnia has issued an international arrest warrant for the Serb leader, Dodik. Meanwhile, Somalia has proposed granting the United States control over its strategically important ports. In the United States, a significant portion of the national wealth is concentrated among a small group, with just half of the households possessing 97.5% of it. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate among Generation Z has surpassed 4 million. With experts attributing this to the perceived lack of value in college degrees and a system that fails to deliver on its promises, leading to an increase in the number of not in education, employment, or training (NEET) individuals. Additionally, small businesses across the country are facing mounting revenue challenges, with inflation being the primary obstacle they must navigate. The phenomenon of temperature-dependent hypoxia provides insight into the geographical distribution and intensity of the marine mass extinction that occurred at the end of the Permian period. The removal of waste from the brain has been shown to significantly enhance memory in mice as they age. There is an increasing trend in the number of oral cancer cases, and it is possible that the consumption of sugary beverages is contributing to this rise. Kristi Noem was seen sporting a $60,000 Rolex Cosmograph Daytona watch during her visit to the notorious El Salvador prison. Additionally, at the El Salvador megajail, a Trump official advised migrants, "Do not come." The AP reports that U.S. officials made efforts to visit residents in Greenland by going door to door, but they did not find anyone interested in meeting the Vances. Furthermore, Greenland has reportedly agreed to establish a comprehensive government, influenced by pressure from Trump, as stated by local media. Marco Rubio mentioned that the State Department has revoked over 300 student visas. The UK climate protest group Just Stop Oil has announced that it will cease its direct action activities. In Washington, D.C., vandalizing Teslas is now considered a hate crime. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, is seeking to return a penalty that a mortgage lender paid to resolve allegations of racial discrimination. Robinhood is expanding its horizons beyond meme stocks and aims to become a full-fledged bank. The company is offering Uber Cash to its customers and utilizing artificial intelligence to provide trading advice. Meanwhile, Fidelity is set to introduce a stablecoin as part of its strategy to enhance its digital assets offerings. Additionally, Hong Kong is poised to receive the world's first tokenized money market exchange-traded funds, ETFs, from Bosera and Hashkey. In a potential warning sign for Hollywood, younger consumers are increasingly opting for creator content instead of traditional premium TV and movies. Meanwhile, Indians have collectively spent a staggering 1 trillion hours on their phones, significantly boosting the media industry to a value of $29.4 billion. Additionally, the Indian streaming service Jio Hotstar has surpassed 100 million subscribers. In the United States, the average monthly expenditure on video streaming has reached $69, with nearly half of the population feeling that this cost is excessive. H&M, a major clothing company, plans to employ digital twins created using AI for its models, ensuring that consent is obtained from the models. Meanwhile, OpenAI has reported that its graphics processing units, GPUs, are experiencing overheating issues, prompting the company to restrict the number of image generation requests made through ChatGPT. Additionally, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, has highlighted DeepSeek as the new standard for measuring the success of Microsoft's artificial intelligence efforts. Riek Machar, the leader of the opposition in South Sudan, has been taken into custody, raising concerns about the potential for a resurgence of civil conflict in the nation that is the youngest in the world. His party claims that the arrest of the vice president has brought an end to the peace agreement in South Sudan. Additionally, Hamas has reported that their spokesperson, Kanua, was killed in an airstrike carried out by Israel. Meanwhile, a court has decided that former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro will face trial on charges related to an attempted coup. Taiwan is investigating China's leading chipmaker, SMIC, for allegedly recruiting staff from Taiwanese companies. Meanwhile, SMIC has announced that while its revenue is expected to increase in 2024, its net profits are projected to decrease significantly. Additionally, Reuters has reported that China's H3C has issued a warning about a potential shortage of NVIDIA AI chips due to a rapid rise in demand. Furthermore, MIT Technology Review has noted that China constructed numerous AI data centers to capitalize on the AI boom, but many of these facilities are currently not in use. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services is set to reduce its workforce by 10,000 employees and shut down several agencies as part of a significant reorganization effort. Meanwhile, the Justice Department has put forward a proposal to combine the Alcohol and Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau, ATF, with the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA, along with other substantial changes. Additionally, the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, has instructed its employees to refrain from referring to the agency as independent in any complaints filed. Leaked data exposes a Chinese AI censorship machine. Elon Musk pressured Reddit CEO to remove Doge posts. Senate passes Scott-led effort to repeal Biden-era CFPB overdraft rule imposing new price controls on overdraft services. Gabbard mentions that Signal is already installed on government-issued devices. The White House has instructed employees of Doge to keep their Signal records intact. There has been a significant increase in Signal downloads in both the United States and Yemen following a government scandal. Residents of Gaza are calling for the conclusion of Hamas's 18-year governance. Indications suggest that the United States is preparing B-2 Spirit bombers at Diego Garcia. The nominee for the U.S. Air Force position advocates for a comprehensive strategy involving drones to address challenges posed by mainland China. The Sundance Institute has declared Boulder, Colorado, as the new location for the Sundance Film Festival, starting in 2027. A report indicates that Hollywood has yet to regain the jobs lost during the strikes. George Clooney's production of Good Night and Good Luck has set a new Broadway box office record with a weekly gross of $3.3 million. Taiwan has successfully conducted its inaugural civil defense exercises as tensions with China continue to rise. According to a report by the South China Morning Post, BlackRock has sold a tower in Shanghai at a significant 34% discount, indicating a strategic retreat from the Chinese property market. Meanwhile, the Trump Organization is considering embarking on multi-billion-dollar ventures in Vietnam, despite the potential challenges posed by tariffs. Tencent and the Guillemot family are considering acquiring Ubisoft, the creator of Assassin's Creed, according to Bloomberg News. Additionally, Ubisoft is set to receive a $1.25 billion bailout from Tencent to facilitate the spin-off of its popular franchises, including Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six Siege. Meanwhile, Amazon Luna has entered into a multi-year agreement with EA to offer a wide range of games through its cloud gaming platform. In a different development, NVIDIA has introduced a gaming-focused AI chatbot that operates directly on your GPU, eliminating the need for cloud services. Facebook is reverting to its original focus by prioritizing posts from friends and family. Instacart is compensating shoppers for recording videos of store shelves. X has incorporated the Grok AI chatbot into Telegram. OpenAI has decided to implement the same standard used by its competitor, Anthropic, for linking AI models with data. In Australia, Earth AI has successfully identified 6 new mineral prospects containing tungsten, cobalt, and gold, utilizing predictive artificial intelligence technology. Meanwhile, Columbia University has taken the decision to suspend a student who developed an AI tool designed to assist individuals in cheating during coding interviews. A judge has given the green light for the New York Times to proceed with its copyright lawsuit against OpenAI. Meanwhile, Europol anticipates a decrease in online piracy. Additionally, Dua Lipa has emerged victorious in a copyright dispute concerning melodies from a 1970s disco song. Marjorie Taylor Greene has accused PBS and NPR of indoctrinating children in advance of a congressional hearing, and she has also labeled these organizations as communist, advocating for the cessation of their funding. Additionally, the Anti-Defamation League has closed its primary anti-bias initiative. Furthermore, Trump has issued an executive order directing efforts to eradicate any improper, divisive, or anti-American ideologies from the Smithsonian, its museums, educational and research centers, and the National Zoo, mandating the removal of certain items concerning race and gender. In a related development, a Nature poll revealed that 75% of U.S. scientists surveyed are contemplating leaving their professions. Fox News attracts advertisers following Trump's comeback. A BBC journalist was detained and expelled from Turkey after reporting on protests, while a Turkish court released an AFP journalist who was also detained during the same protests, according to the agency. The co-director of No Other Land claims that the U.S. Academy declined to release a statement supporting Hamdan Bolal, stating that they remained silent when the filmmaker, whom they had previously honored, required their support the most. Netflix has revealed its inaugural live-action adaptation of the beloved Scooby-Doo series. In a related development, FIFA has declared a historic prize pool of $1 billion for the Club World Cup scheduled for 2025. Additionally, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is set to be the keynote speaker at Mumbai's Waves 2025 summit, as India positions itself as a significant player in the global entertainment industry. Meghan Markle is reportedly certain that her new business endeavors will propel her to billionaire status. Stephen Curry has collaborated with Michelle Obama to introduce a new sports drink. Lady Gaga has declared her plans for a 2025 Mayhem Ball tour across North America. Politico notes that Trump's supporters are beginning to recognize Pete Hegseth's increasing number of errors. Reason points out that Hegseth's recklessness and dishonesty resemble those of Hillary Clinton. The Wall Street Journal reports that Israeli officials have stated that Israel provided intelligence for an airstrike that was discussed in a Signal chat. The Trump administration labels The Atlantic's article about Signal as a hoax after it removes the war plans language, while The Atlantic releases screenshots showing the timing and weapons used in the Yemen war plans Signal chat. Trump is challenging California's prohibition on the mandatory disclosure of students' gender identities to their parents. In West Texas, some measles patients are exhibiting symptoms of vitamin A toxicity, prompting doctors to express worries about the spread of misinformation. Additionally, Nature has reported that the National Institutes of Health (NIH) in the United States plans to reduce funding for COVID-19 research, as indicated by internal documents. Besant paves the way for Russia's re-entry into the global banking network. Chinese state banks are expected to see a boost in profits and a reduction in bad loans in 2024, despite a decrease in profit margins. The cryptocurrency sector is on track to experience its most disastrous quarter in terms of hacking incidents, with a staggering $1.6 billion in losses, according to Immunify. In the United States, military personnel are set to begin monitoring activities along the border. The Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, plans to exchange information with the Department of Homeland Security to focus on immigrants who lack legal documentation. Additionally, the Trump administration is taking steps to reduce funding for initiatives aimed at combating child labor in foreign countries. At an Arctic conference, Putin remarked that the United States is genuinely interested in Greenland, referencing Trump's previous intentions to acquire the territory. Meanwhile, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney declared that the traditional relationship with the United States has concluded. Additionally, Radio Free Europe reported that the Trump administration has withdrawn its order to terminate a grant. TSMC's commitment of $100 billion to Donald Trump is unlikely to rejuvenate the U.S. chip-making industry, according to a former Intel executive. Meanwhile, Nikkei discusses TSMC's $165 billion expansion in the U.S., describing it as inevitable yet fraught with risks. In contrast, as NASA grapples with budget reductions, China unveils its ambitious plans for exploring other planets. Additionally, U.S. robotics firms are advocating for a national strategy, which includes establishing a central office,